remember that time when you woke up in the morning and you said, my website gets so much traffic. My landing pages are just dripping with traffic. It's amazing. It's on. We crank it. I got so much traffic. I don't need any more traffic. It's amazing. I'm just so trafficked out. I'm just the happiest person alive. Do you remember that? Of course you don't. It didn't fucking happen. We all need more traffic because we need more customers. But what if we didn't need any traffic? What if we didn't need any traffic at all? Right? No traffic to your page to know whether it's going to be good or not, how it's going to perform. I want to talk a little bit about the future of marketing, the future of conversion, and then I'm going to bring it right back to what's happening right now, what we can do right now in this framework I'm going to show you. So this is the Unbox Dashboard. Now, if you look in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a blue button. The reason the button's blue is because the page hasn't been published. Imagine if there's no traffic coming to your site, and you know how it's going to perform, and you get recommendations to make it better without any traffic. We're going to have traffic at some point, but because we're writing this machine learning algorithm that's looking at millions of landing pages, like 20,000, 30,000, just like yours, same use case, same industry vertical, and it can tell how it's going to perform. This is a little web app we put together just for fun. So this is one of our customer pages that comes up, and then we get a prediction from our algorithm. It knows what topic it is, what industry it's in, and what it thinks is going to be a top performer. And then click again, and you get the truth. And so this algorithm is very good at predicting how a page will perform. Now, we do it kind of for fun, like humans versus machines. You get a person sitting down doing this, you're going to call this correctly like 1 out of 10 times. It's really difficult. So it's cool to see this actually happening, because one of the biggest problems with optimization is you don't have enough traffic. Like low traffic sites, they don't get to run tests. But with something like this, you can make your page better without any traffic. There'll automatically be click and scroll map analysis happening without you even asking. This stuff will just be done for you, so that when you wake up in the morning and you don't have all this traffic, you get this thing with audio. We will need traffic. We still need that. And analyzing behavior is always going to be more important than just analyzing the page. But it's a very bright future when that can be done for us. This is what would happen. You wake up in the morning, and instead of having that silly dream, you get a Slack message from this robot, this machine, saying, we did all this analysis while you were sleeping, and we know if you, on this blog post, if you take your CTA, there's a banner at the bottom of your blog post, if you move it up to just below paragraph 4, where it's very semantically relevant, and that's the sweet spot of the scroll map, it will increase your click-through rate by 118%. Would you like to proceed? Type yes to go, right? Because people are afraid that machines are going to take over. Machine learning is going to make these decisions for us. It won't. It will just figure stuff out for us, and then we'll have to add that human element by saying yes or no. And it will forever remove the need to ask the question, what should I test? Because that will be figured out for us, and that will also remove the need for all of these blog posts, many of which I'm to blame for. We won't need those anymore. Okay, so that's kind of a look at the future. Now, bring it back. The conversion equations is a set of kind of mathematical formula. I know it sounds really nerdy and boring. I promise it won't be. It's made up of many different inputs. So heuristic analysis, all the many, many years we've understood how things perform. Rapid experimentation, conversion research. All right, academic studies from places like Pepli's Conversion Excel Institute. And lots of tools, online checklists, and things. There's a lot of that I'm going to share with you today. The URL down in the bottom corner, there's a landing page. I'll show a bigger version in a second. That has everything we're going to talk about, the slides, all the tools, and everything you need. So don't worry about taking notes. Okay, so there's 7 of these. I'm going to cover 3 of them. Testimonials, social proof, video, and clarity. Clarity is the most important part. If you can't be clear, you can't communicate. If you can't communicate, you can't sell. Okay, so this. Okay, before I get into the equation, I'm going to run through this page here, okay, and see what they're saying about what they do, how they communicate their value proposition. So there's 3 parts. We're going to run through this page. First of all, marketing software. Yes, that's really specific. Number 1 marketing platform, trademark. Okay? Correct me if I'm wrong, but we trademark things that we invent or make up. So clearly they've made up this statement that they're number 1 marketing platform. But imagine if it was actually true, but then a competitor comes along and replaces them, and so they go to number 2, they have to get a new trademark now. It's going to be a lot of work. What else? Fuel your brand, exclamation point, trademark. They are really shitty at trademarks. This is not good. Further down, market domination, award-winning, marketing software. And at the bottom, marketing, innovation, technology, exclamation point, and in case you've forgotten, marketing software. I have no idea what they do, right, other than marketing software. You know how many marketing software companies there are? Right, we've all seen this thing, right? Specifically 3,874 exclamation point. Right, they're not unique. I mean, well, maybe they are unique. They're just doing a terrible job of explaining why that's the case. Okay, they're getting stuck on the hype train. So a quick definition, what is hyperbole? Well, it's this, without a doubt, the single greatest thing in the history of the universe. And that's how a lot of people talk about themselves, because they get caught up in like the gray goose kind of thing. Right? Just because you say you're awesome doesn't mean you are. Right? It's too much hype, which is why at Unbox we made something to kind of help with the hype problem.
If you've ever suspected that your boss might be the worst copywriter ever and that your value proposition actually has no value, you need the de-jargonator. Simply click this little button, de-jarg on this page. It will highlight everything on your page that is hyperbolic, and it will give you suggestions or insults or, how to fix it. Next generation, are you building a warp drive? Beam this cliche up, Scotty.
It's a lot of fun. Okay, this is where all of the slides and all of the things will be, this page. It's a landing page with everything, so don't worry about anything other than that link. Okay, also the copy will be analyzed in the future, and it will make recommendations on how to change it, doing sentiment analysis and word analysis to figure out how you can make it perform better. So this is the clarity equation. Now, I know it's kind of ironic that that's really not very clear, but that's kind of how it works. And now I break it down into 7 sub-equations. Distraction, expectation, readability, visual identification, immediacy, specificity, and hyperbole. And that moves into like this chart here. There's lots of experiments you can run, rapid experimentation. I'm going to show you how to do that. And things you can just analyze on your site to score it. That will be perfect. This is more realistic. And this is why it's a good framework, because you know when you do this where you should be optimizing, where you're having problems and where you're not. So here, there's a readability, immediacy, and a hype problem. Right? So you can start focusing on things that actually aren't broken. And there's an interactive calculator for this one. It's a Google Sheet. You can save a copy and you fill the stuff in. It'll give you that chart and it will give you your score. And then you can work on making it better, and I'll show you how to do that. That's what it looks like. That's a dead goldfish. Huh? Like, the goldfish is dead. Like, seriously dead. The reason he's dead is because I'm sick of people saying, oh, we've got an attention span shorter than a goldfish. We've heard that too many times. It's not the point. Our attention span changes all the time for different reasons. Where we are, what time of the day, whether we're grumpy, whether we're busy. The attention span isn't the important part. It's how our lack of attention changes our behavior, and how technology influences our behavior when we don't have much time. We used to be afraid of the back button. We still are, but it's not quite the same as it used to be. When people search now, it's more like this. You'll search for something, best place to get red shoes, and when you get your results, now you take your finger and you put it on the command or the control key, and then you just click all of the ads and open them in tabs. That's how we do it now. We use this tab system. You might not even read all the ads. You might read the first one, well, this is good stuff, and then that's where the short attention comes in, because you go through these tabs figuring out which one I'm interested in. And if you can't communicate clearly, really quickly, you're going to be the first one closed. You've got to focus on immediacy is the most important thing, right? Getting people to figure it out right away. So here is another homepage. Now, again, it's not very clear what they do, I don't think, from this. So I ran a 5-second test. I'm going to show a lot of these. This is rapid conversion research. If you don't know, 5-second test is where you show someone a page for 5 seconds, then you take it down, and you ask a question, like, what was this page about? So in this case, I said, what do you think this page is about? A lot of generic answers, but only 6% knew that it was business intelligence software, right? So imagine someone comes to your site and only 6% know what you do. That's terrible. That's upsetting. So doing this kind of thing, that's going to get a terrible score. If you do these and you figure out you have a clarity problem, then you can work on solving them. So for this one, I just looked around their site and figured out what they do. It took me a while, and I just changed it to what they actually do, ran it again. That's what you want to get, right? 42%, that's a big increase. So you can see with simple experimentation, you can increase these scores and, see everything go up. And this is optimization in a really simple way. I'm going to read this thing out. Let's see. Carousels pose accessibility issues for keyboard and screen readers. Yes, very frustrating. We all know carousel is stupid, but we still use them, or people insist on using them. This is readability. This breaks down into a few other parts, because readability is super important. If someone can't understand you or actually physically read it, that's a big problem. Part of it is acronym count. Acronyms can be helpful, but in that first little while, they can hinder your understanding. So I saw this page from Oracle, and I was like, what's a CFOS? And an OPT, and I'm like, I don't get this. Okay, so I, of course, go to the Clicker store, get another one, Anagram Genius, and I type in what this is, see if it can figure it out better than I can. So apparently this is what it means. That's an exact acronym of that Oracle headline. All they need to do, though, is change the casing. Now I can see it's CFOs, not CFOS, and it's Enterprise Resource Plan, right? You can understand it much more simply when it's presented like that. You guys gotta help me out with this one. Every time I come to the US and I see one of these, I stop and I just, what does it mean? Is Ruth Chris, or does Chris belong to Ruth? Like, it's so difficult to understand. So I did the same thing. Apparently that's what it means. Now I'm Canadian, but I hate Rush, so feel free to touch that. Contrast ratio, this is another part. Is it easy to read, like visually? So I saw this page, and it took 8 seconds before this actually revealed what the headline was, because they're trying to be clever with their design. This little tool will tell you a contrast ratio. It goes up to 21. 4 is like bad state, 7 is AAA. Anything above that is gravy, you don't need that, but they got 2.7. You just put the colors in of your text in the background, and there's an eyedropper thing here if you want to have an easier way of doing that. Put it into the calculator, and also whether you have a background video or an image, and it'll give you your contrast score, and this all feeds into this to figure out how your page is. Anyone remember page fights? It was a show we did, Unbox with Conversion XL, me and Pep Laya. We kicked the shit out of landing pages, but we killed it. We killed it off, about a year ago because we couldn't grow it properly. So Pep jumped on growpackers.com and asked a simple question. Hey, community, how would you grow this product, this show, to make, so we just get more viewership, right? We were struggling. We couldn't figure out maybe it's this direction. We couldn't figure out the ROI of this show, so that's why we canceled it. But on his question, the first answer was this. I'm glad I saw this on a lazy Saturday when I had time to immerse myself in this lukewarm shower of digital hipster parochialism seamlessly integrated with slightly veiled pseudo-program invective. He's not a fan, clearly. So I took this and I put it into readability-score.com, which analyzes the text to see how easy it is to read, and it grades it. 100 is kind of epically readable. This is 18.4. You need, and it says what grade of education you need. You need a master's degree, apparently, to understand this properly, according to this. But it's a really great way. You can paste in a paragraph of copy, score it, and just work on it, or put a URL in. So this is reading ease, and part of our machine learning algorithm, we've plugged some of this in. This is brand new data, which shows it's not a massive impact, but when you put all these small things together, it will have a big impact. If you see, the reading ease goes along the bottom, and then conversion rate goes up. So you can see as it gets easier, the conversion rates change. But it's not just about getting to 100, it's getting to that sweet spot. That's also what we're trying to figure out is, maybe you need to get to 71 because you need some complexity because it's a complex thing or it's for intelligent people to understand, but you don't want it too simple. So it's about finding that best possible place. So there, not very good. But if you do these things, make a title case, turn off the slider, simpler, shorter paragraphs and words, and you're going to increase the score. And they're very simple things to do. I want to talk about feet. What do you think, it's loud, isn't it? What do you think this company does? It's not really easy to figure out. It's an energy company. I don't know if they're getting energy from the feet, or... This is visual identification. Oh, here's another one. I was just in Brazil, and this was one of the people there. They offered up the page. What do you think this is? It's business meetings or something. Actually, I don't know what it is, because I had English. I forget. But it's very generic. So I took it, and I went to tineye.com, and I put in the URL of the image. This looks all the way around the world, all the images. 204 other businesses are using this on their website. Right? So if someone's seen it before, maybe they didn't like that company or that site, and they're like, oh, this thing again. Or I've already seen it. It can set up this bad reaction. This is the reason why you don't use stock photography. Not just because you don't use stock photography, but things like that. So this is a visual ID. Can you understand what the product or service does if you look at the main hero shot image in isolation, just by itself? So someone shared this page with me, and I was like, why is Larry King on this page? And more importantly, why is he shooting laser beams out of his thumb? I don't think that's necessary. So I did a test again, and I said, what product do you think this company sells? Loans. The important part is it's business loans. It's not payday loans, it's not car loans, it's not mortgages, it's business loans. So people aren't getting it. So I blurred everything out to see if it's a Larry problem. And I ran it again. Now, this time the answers were meeting a guy, talk show, something about old men, doctor consultation, Viagra, and a lot of people just didn't have a clue. Okay, so I'm like, we have a Larry problem. So I just deleted him, and I ran it again. Right? 500% increase in people getting it in those first 5 seconds because the distraction, confusion of him being there was removed. Now, he's a high-priced endorsement, but give him another job. He's not doing very well there. Okay, if you recognize you have a visual clarity problem by doing that, it's easy to fix. Right? I took these guys, and that's just a generic dashboard, that means nothing. But I put with and without a caption. Massive difference. People read captions. That's a quick way of solving the problem, but it's not really what you should be doing. You should fix the image, fix the graphics so people can understand it. But that's a quick way to try and help if you notice you have a problem. This is how it should be done, right? This is great context of use. I understand that this is a white box with blue straps full of fish and stuff and recipes for how to cook the fish. I can get that by looking at it. That's a really good hero shot. Another reason you shouldn't use stock photography, this is a magazine with 2 dentists on opposite pages using the exact same photo. And on the topic of clarity, we have an ebook downstairs. It's funny, it's a printed ebook. Doesn't that just make it a book? that has another framework in it, conversion-centered design, which includes some more of that stuff. So pop down, we're at the back right corner when you come down the escalator. So I was in Dublin, in Ireland, and I was checking into my hotel. I get my card, and they say, you're in room 324. So I'm like, okay, cool. I go down the corridor to the elevator, and there's a lady there, so sorry to be ignoring you there, because it's going to work. So I stand and chat for a while. The elevator door opens, I let her in first. She goes in, puts her card in, and presses 3. I'm like, oh, I don't have to do anything now. I just awkwardly stand there. We go up to the 3rd floor, I let her out first. So she goes out, and I see the sign, I turn, but now I'm following her. Right? I'm walking down the corridor like some creepy pervert behind her, and it's not until I see 2 doors in a row that I see the pattern and figure out I'm going the wrong way, but it's too late because I've walked her all the way to her room. She goes in, I'm like, okay, have a good day. So I go back to my room a little bit flustered, and I'm like, I want to run another experiment. What's going on with this sign? So I set up the scenario like, you got 324, would you turn left or right? 33% went the wrong way in this experiment. So I'm like, all right. So I mocked it up visually so that I could make changes and try and fix the problem. But I ran it again just like this, exact same problem, right? Exact same result. So I used some attention-driven design principles. I have 23 of them. They're graphic design principles, but they're designed to help you focus people's attention on what they should be doing and give a simpler experience and a more enjoyable experience. Now, I'm not going to do all 23, but I'll use 4 to solve this problem. So first of all, the top, some contrast. These are semantically different. This is where you are, and this is where you're going. So when you make them different, you're like, oh, 3rd floor, cool, right place. Now I can look at the rest. Grouping, I put the numbers with the related arrow and a little bit of white space. I ran it again, only 8% went the wrong way. Then I added some interruption, just to break it apart. So you know this is over here, this is over there. Everybody went the right way fewer perverts in the hotel, which is good for everyone. Okay, so if you can identify a design problem, you can use these principles to solve it, because no one's ever been taught how to design for conversion. Graphic and web designers are taught grid systems, color theory, typography, but not how to design for conversion. So that's what, there's an ebook also on that landing page. Because design matters, it's really important, right? It makes us feel good, it brings joy when your phone's awesome, or you close the door in a Volkswagen and it goes, boom. Like these little nice things. But it also reduces confusion. Put your hand up if you've ever driven a car in your life. Gotta ask the question you can't say no to. And when you're filling it with gas, you need this little guy here, right? It really helps, because without it, now this is massively sped up. It takes 2.5 minutes, someone else comes, fills up, goes inside, pays, and leaves before it's actually done. And it speeds up repeatable tasks. I found another design problem over here. So this happens every day, all the time, many times, and that's the problem, repeatable problems. So I need to get in, here's the card reader, here's my card in here. Okay, sure I can do that, but it's annoying, right? I'd rather, see, annoying. I'd rather do this, but it looks like I'm humping the wall. I mean, it works. But, I mean, come on, it's just move it from here to here, and I could just walk past it, right? Or put it there. I mean, still I'm humping something, but you see what I mean? And then when we combine data with design, that is the fastest path to creating a delightful experience, when we marry those two things together. But if you're not a designer or a developer, like I'm running all these experiments, I'm deleting Larry, all this stuff, how do I do that, or how do I change these headlines if I'm not a designer or don't have access to Photoshop files or something? How do I do this, okay, to make these mock-ups? Well, here's a simple way of doing it, using a line of JavaScript.
All right, Boston, this is the hack that I'm talking about. So I just paste this JavaScript in the address bar. For some reason, Chrome strips it out. Don't know why. Just put it back in. And what it's done is made this page editable, like not live on the internet, but inside my browser, so I can make changes, so I can take new screenshots and run some experiments. So I'm going to change the value prop of the inbound website and try and sell more tickets for them for next year, or sell out faster than they did this year. So let's call this the only marketing conference in Boston that includes a free copy of Good Will Hunting on VHS. Because clearly that's going to convert way better than the original. So what you do, you then take a screenshot of that, and you go into Usability Hub, create a 5-second test, you upload your screenshot, and then you ask a question, such as, what do you think this page is about? And then you order some responses from the community.
So all this qualitative insight is great. The language they use, the surprising things about Viagra and such. You can take these to your stakeholders, to your boss or client, and go like, nobody understands what we do. Will you give me some budget, or just let me start optimizing? It's a great way to help start making change. Now there's another type of test you can do at Usability Hub. It's called a preference test. It's very simple. It's like, which of these do you prefer? So I was curious, so I ran this thing. I said, your boss is giving you permission to go to Boston for a marketing conference. Which one would you rather attend? We're onto something here. So now I got really curious. So that's that. How about if we Red Sox tickets? I mean, they're out of the playoffs, so that wouldn't be worth. That didn't work. Okay, people didn't care about Red Sox tickets. How about a free hangover pass for day 2? That's pretty useful, right? You're allowed to show up late. 50%. And that's actually free. That's just, you can show up late. What about free fish and chips? 78%. So whoever's doing the catering, just get 85 food trucks with fish and chips. You'll sell more tickets. Or you can pay someone from Upwork or Elance, and they'll build any page you want inside Unbox for like 25 bucks. Which is really simple. And then you can just go to town there, deleting stuff, changing things, monkey around with it, and then you can take screenshots and run those experiments, or you can just have this and build landing pages and everything be wonderful. That's the first time I've ever showed our product. I hate sales. I've never done it before. Okay, so we're based in Vancouver. We have a small office in Montreal where it's freezing. I lived there for 2 years. If you live in Boston, you get that. It's really cold. So I wanted to go on like a sunny, warm vacation with my ex-girlfriend. Well, I say ex-girlfriend because she's now my fiance. And actually, going back to, we actually met at a conversion conference in Vegas because she'd seen Page Fights, had a bit of a crush on me. We met there, and then Pep said, there's the ROI of Page Fights. All right, so I thought, this one looks good. I'm gonna try and buy this one. I click on it, it takes me off to airtransat.com. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Expedia is usually good, but this is kind of weird that it took me somewhere else. But I like the place. I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, I want to book this. I don't know where to click. I mean, it says book early and save, but I know it's not a button. This is a statement. But I'm clicking it anyway. Nothing happens. So I look around. I'm like, there's nowhere to buy this thing. So and then I'm like, oh, with my 20 years of experience, I know that if I click this little thing, it'll open a tray, and there'll be a call to action hiding inside it, just waiting for me like an Easter egg. So I click it. Sure enough, it's in there. I'm like, I'm so smart, feeling really good about myself. So I click on it. It says, save, it's the same thing, save up to $400 per couple. Right? So I click on it, closes the fucking tray. So I go back in, I'm like, there's another one. It's for single parents. I don't think I have any children, but I'm going to click it anyway, just in case. Same thing, right? I do this for like a minute and a half. Just going back and forth, trying to find that one pixel that's interactive that will take me somewhere. It doesn't, so I'm like, oh, what else can I do? Okay, up here, social share buttons. I mean, Because I'm going to get on Google+, because that's dead. I might email it to myself to say, never return to this shitty website. I should probably print it, because then I can take it to a travel agent and say, can you book this for me? I can't do it online. And then I see that. Why is there a QR code on this website? I have a QR code reader on my phone. They don't come by default. I'm just morbidly curious about shitty experiences. So I pull out my phone, and so I click on it. Sure enough, there it is. So I scan it, and it gives me a URL. And I'm like, kind of scared at what's going to happen at this point. But I'll bite. I click it.
I have seen QR codes on websites, and I have scanned them. Do you know where they take me? Back to the website.
Which is exactly what I did, except now as a call to action, I can book this on my phone, but not on desktop. I'm not going to spend $3,000 on this on my phone. Okay?
Bullshit.
It's total bullshit. It's way too much bullshit marketing, and it makes me mad. I'm getting red in the face right now. First rule of CTAs. Now you might think that's overly simplistic. Like, of course we're going to have a CTA. Like, everyone's like, no, well they didn't, and we were just as bad. We've owned what is a landing page for 7 years since we started Unbound. #1 in Google, but this is where it's coming to. It's just a generic content page with useful information, but nothing to do. So, like, gotta do what we believe in. Remove the internal content links that we thought were great for SEO. Took away the side nav. And then added a call to action. We know our highest conversion path, one of, is when people go through our templates page. So we put a button saying, hey, go to the templates page. Sure enough, 171% increase in people doing that. Right? I guarantee if you look at like 20, 30 of the highest traffic pages on your website, 10 will have terrible old content that's out of date, and 4, 5, 6 more won't have a call to action. So just do that. Look in GA, find them, and go and see. That's the simplest optimization you can be doing. Right? Every website and landing page has conversion opportunities, and they all need a CTA. Who wants to increase their video click-through rate by 290%? Right? Okay, well, I got a lot of data from Wistia, and I put it together into a video equation. Now, this one's really complicated, but only because I have a lot of exact data about different language you can use in your CTAs inside videos. And this, when you put in what you're doing, this shows you how far away you are from being impactful. Okay, so at Wistia, okay, and this breaks down as well into an acronym, so it's easy to remember. This is PST, scarce talc. Because we all know if you run out of talc, you need to be really careful and quiet about it. Here's a wireframe, don't worry about it now. This takes all of that information, all the data, and it puts it into a wireframe so you can see exactly what this all means. So this is the data. Now, at Wistia, in a video, they have 3 types of CTA. You can have a turnstile, that's a video, email collection at a certain point, an annotation, you see them on YouTube, like it appears in the top right corner or something, and then a full screen CTA that's like right in your face, kind of interrupts you. Okay? This is the data for these different things according to what words are in that call to action. So the annotations, that's up here. If you use click or click here destroys not saying it. And it makes sense because it's over there, right? Click here. It makes a certain amount of sense. When it's in your face, click is okay, but click here was not. It's a little bit too aggressive. Kind of opposite. How about my versus your? Well, up in the corner, your works better. Right here, my works better. Again, maybe it makes sense because this is my thing, that's your thing. I don't know. But it's interesting. Again, it's polar opposites. What about urgency? Works up there, doesn't work here. Again, it's an opposite. Adding exclamation points. Doesn't work here, does work up there. Now, 3 it's saying is good. That's a low sample size, don't believe that. But 1 is good. Okay, and this is massive amounts of data. So just put these things in, like, click here now, exclamation point. Click. My, that's your, like, the point is they're completely different. So when you read a blog post that says you should do this, and you go and do it everywhere, you could be hurting your business because it only works in certain places because every conversion opportunity is unique. They're all different. And we have to build them, write them, design them differently to have maximum impact. This is just a useful slide. This has all of that together with some unbalanced data about lead gen forms with the same type of language. So you can just look at that slide afterwards. It's a really great way to start increasing conversion rates on your forms and CTAs in your videos. In the future, you won't need to see that slide or know, because when you're in Unbound or somewhere else, when you're typing your CTA, you'll get like the Google autocomplete thing, but it'll also give you a prediction of the increase in conversion rate just by doing that. Like that is going to change everything, because it's all unique, which is kind of what makes us human, right? Don't need to be scared of the machines, because we can still put the human side in. Someone shared this page with me. It's a photography course. I'm a photographer, so I was interested. I was critiquing it, and I get to the testimonials. I'll read some of it out. Megan has been a lifesaver. No, she hasn't. This is not Baywatch. It's hype. Right here, reach out to Megan is one of the best things I've ever done. You must have a shitty life. That's the best thing you've ever done. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a great course. And I've gone on to explore the photographers here. They do great work. It's a great course. But this is hype again. It's hard to believe testimonials when they're just loaded with hyperbole, because it turns you off. It doesn't feel real. You got to be really careful what you put inside quotation marks. This guy's not anyone. How mean is that? Yeah, you can join the family, but I'll never consider you one of my own. The key to a testimonial that works is showing the transformative effect of using your product or service, the before and after. We've seen it in like the sleazy kind of photography for weight loss, but it's really important in every aspect of a testimonial. So I created this one. This is how to craft an amazing testimonial. Again, don't worry about the details of the equation so much. This one's super cool. This is the Reverend Fat Crib. So that's how the social proof is. I'm behind because of some stuff, so I'll just skip through this. But the important point of this is deconstructing that equation. There's that thing again. Clearly I messed that up. Also that. Also that. Also that. Am I in a different deck now? Okay, let's just get through that. This is more how you should construct this testimonial, right? She's holding a camera. I'm like, oh, okay, photographer, I can relate to that. It looks like an authentic image, not stock. Transformational, specific. If you read this, this is really specific about a certain type of photography, a certain technique. If I read that, I wrote it, but if I read that, I would go, oh, I'm interested. This is actually the truth. This sounds believable. Transformational images before and after, a video of the same, and transformative text. I get 3 times as many great photos using that technique. That's a great testimonial. I'm running out of time, but here's one from our homepage. This is a great testimonial. This is how it scores because it has all of those elements. That previous one, this is kind of, oh, never mind. But anyway, there's a testimonial interview script. Interview your customers using this script, these questions. It will give you every single piece of information you need to construct the perfect testimonial. I shared that with Moz. They're using that now. It's really cool. Quick story. So I bought something online. It was a health food product. It got to me, and it was the wrong thing. So I'm like, oh, that's annoying. I email support, and they say, oh, right, we sent yours to someone else, and you got theirs. Just print this thing out, put it on, mail it. When we get it, we'll put it into the inventory. Once we can check it's there, we'll send yours out. No. You made this mistake, you send it right now. That's not our policy, sir. Well, you're losing me as a customer, do it now. Okay, they do it now, so they send it to me, and the right thing's there, but it's got a whole bunch of samples in there. They're trying to suck up to me at this point. And that's fine, except for this one. Zoom in a little bit. Like, the only relevant part are these 3 letters here. But, so they're not thinking about me. They may as well be a machine, because they're not thinking of me like a human. We put on an event called Digital Agency Day. It was an online thing, and we recorded everything. This was the landing page. And it was a good page. When you leave, there's a pop-up, right? To say, do you want the recordings? It's high value. right? It's exactly what they were there for. But then, you know, like, pop-ups suck, I hate pop-ups, pop-ups are the devil, don't use pop-ups. No, it's not true. Like this, we have really solid data on how these things perform on average. Like an average one, 2 to 3. A good one, 5. An epic one, 8. This converted 19%, right? You did the same thing in a German event, 27%. Because, you know, it was relevant, valuable, well-timed, and designed to delight because it was the right thing. Technology is not the problem. Complaining about these types of technology, we don't need to do that anymore because it's us that's the problem. It's us that's being manipulative using psychological triggers and all this kind of stuff. You know, let's not be scared of this. A machine learning algorithm, we can put our beliefs into it. Like say Moz, they have their core values, we do too, tag feed. If you put that into the algorithm, then when it recommends a headline, it will be keeping it in, like if you put this sentiment in, it's more in line with your core values, it will get you more of your ideal customer. It's an amazing way things are going to go. Thank you for putting up with me and all of those techniques. And come down to the booth and grab one of those books.